So in this next segment, I wanted to talk about VCAs. Now, if you're not familiar with VCAs, what a VCA is a master fader which controls slave faders. In Japanese, it's Oya fader and Kodomo fader. So this fader now controls all of the other faders underneath it. Now this can be really, really useful. One, obviously, to control the level of faders, but it's a really nice way of grouping things together. For example, I have a drum VCA, so all of my sub faders for the drum group are now controlled from this one VCA fader. And again, I've got another one here for my bass group, and another one over on this part of the console for my percussion subgroup. So VCA Spill, what this allows you to do is to quickly display the slave faders of your VCA group on the console. Now from version 2 there is a number of ways of doing this. From the very first software, what we had was, if you push this menu key, you get an option to spill your faders either to the left or the right of where your VCA fader is. To make this a little bit easier to understand, what I'm going to do is just make a layout very quickly that we talked about before. I'm going to go into assign mode again here and clear my console and choose VCA only from my master menu here. So this master module understands the Pro Tools track types. So I'm just going to swipe over here to VCA only. Now I don't have a lot of VCAs in the session, but I think it's really powerful to show. So what I can do is take my drum VCA, for example, and put it on fader 1, my bass VCA and my percussion VCA, and assign it to the console this quickly. And I'm going to save that and call it VCAs. So as you can see, I now can only see the VCA masters. Now this is fine if you're mixing a big project, and if let's just have a quick look at the Pro Tools window here. I'm controlling all of these sub faders from one fader here. This is my drum group, this is my bass group, and this is my percussion group. So as you can see, I have a control over a large amount of faders from just 3 faders, and I must say this is the way I work much more often in Pro Tools now, especially because we have clip gain. Now from the console, if I want to control these slave faders, I can choose the bus, which is going to give me individual control over my faders. If we can see here, if I turn this encoder, it's going to control the fader inside of Pro Tools here. But obviously most mixers want to mix on the faders. So to spill this VCA, we simply can push menu and either spill to the left. That's going to show my slave faders of my VCA group, and I can simply collapse it again, or I can spill to the right of the master fader so I can see my faders, fix the balance and collapse it again. Or from version 2 in the software, I can now spill by holding the menu button to one of my spill zones. Now as you remember, on this right side of the console before, I made a right spill zone. I can now take my drum group, for example, and spill it to the right spill zone. So all of my slave faders of that group are now displayed over here in my spill zone. So from your VCA master fader, you can hold the menu key, spill into your spill zone, or spill left or right from that master fader. So that gives you a really quick way of seeing all of your slave faders even in a really large session. And again, so at the moment I'm in VCA Spill, and the really nice thing is in my spill zone it gives a green indicator to show that I'm spilling a VCA. If I spill a different kind of thing into my spill zone, it will give me a different color to indicate that I'm spilling a different thing. If I spill a layout, it's going to be dark blue. If I spill a track type, it's going to be light blue. So that's a really cool way to get around VCA faders. Actually, there is one more way that this VCA spill works. We have what's called auto spill, and I don't actually know if it's enabled on this console, so let's try very quickly. At the moment, when I push attention, this fader comes to our master fader as you would expect. One of the features that we've added is what's called auto spill. So if I go to my track screen, which shows all of our tracks in the settings menu, I can now automatically spill. So I have some options. I can automatically spill to the left of the attention fader, to the right of the attention fader, or select that I want to spill it into one of the spill zones. But since I have these 8 faders here, let's spill it to the right of the attention fader. So I'm going to do that. So now, whenever I select a VCA, it's automatically going to spill it in this section to the right of the attention fader. Now the great thing about this is, it's not just in layout mode. Even if I select normal nudging banking mode, if I select my VCA, it's going to automatically spill those slave faders into the section that I've selected to the right of the attention fader. If I want to collapse that, I simply push the green button here, and then I will have my normal tracks for nudging and banking. So there's some really powerful ways to control VCAs. And if you do own Pro Tools HD, I suggest that you give VCA faders a try. It really gives you an easy way to control many tracks inside of a session.